Hey, my darlings, welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, your one-stop space for truth, boldness, and the unapologetic clapback to royal media hypocrisy. Grab your tea because today we're unpacking one loaded segment where so-called royal experts try once again to paint Harry as the prodigal son and Meghan as the manipulator. But as always, we're flipping the script and exposing the real agenda behind their narratives. So let's start with this little headline. The King gave Prince Harry a reality check. Excuse me? Reality check from a man whose idea of modern leadership is ghosting his son after a car chase, while still funding the brother who did actual damage to the monarchy's reputation? Let's be honest, what they're calling a reality check is nothing more than Charles continuing his emotional stonewalling. King Charles stands at a crossroads, facing a stark and deeply personal choice between his duty as monarch and his responsibilities as a father. The weight of the crown, with its centuries-old traditions and expectations, is proving to be the dominant force in his life. As a result, the role of king is overshadowing the role of father. And the crown is winning, shaping every decision he makes. The eviction of Harry and Meghan from Frogmore Cottage was not just a matter of logistics or property management. It was a highly public and symbolic severing of family ties, sending a clear message to the world about where loyalties now lie. This cold, calculated approach only fuels the media's narrative of a bitter family feud, painting the monarchy as rigid, unyielding, and unwilling to adapt to changing times. Instead of opening the door to reconciliation, the palace's actions have deepened the emotional divide, seemingly validating the Sussexes' claims of isolation and exclusion from the royal fold. The monarchy's silence, along with symbolic rebuffs, such as the quiet removal of titles and honours and the repeated offering of no comment to the press, speak volumes often louder than any tabloid headline or public statement could. These choices may be intended to protect the institution's image and stability, but they risk alienating a new generation of Britons who are increasingly questioning the relevance of the monarchy in today's world. By reinforcing the image of a monarchy out of touch with modern values and public sentiment, the palace may be undermining its own future. In the end, it's not Harry's words or interviews, but the palace's own actions and decisions that are telling the real story, one of distance, division, and a family struggling to balance tradition with change. Meghan Markle has flipped the script, stepping boldly into the world of Hollywood with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. Drawing on her Hollywood expertise and experience, she's using her platform to reclaim her narrative and shape her own story, rather than letting others define it for her. The Netflix deal wasn't just another business arrangement, it was a calculated strategic move designed to bypass hostile media, silence the critics, and speak directly to a global audience on her own terms. Their docuseries didn't just make headlines, it shattered streaming records, proving that millions around the world were eager to hear their side of the story, unfiltered and authentic. Now, Meghan's projects are deeply personal, focusing on her passions and values and building a brand that stands completely independent of royal constraints or expectations. The Sussexes have transformed themselves from ex-royals into influential content creators, entrepreneurs and storytellers, achieving a level of financial independence that allows them to pursue their creative ambitions. This newfound autonomy empowers them to champion causes they truly care about, from mental health awareness to women's empowerment and social justice, reaching and inspiring audiences across the globe, far beyond the reach of the traditional monarchy. Meghan's success is a powerful statement to the world. You can leave the palace, break free from tradition, and still thrive on your own terms, forging a new path. Their relevance and influence are no longer tied to royalty. It's now built on their own vision, creativity, and the impact they make. Calls for reconciliation in the royal family ignore a crucial truth. Real healing requires accountability, not just a photo op. Harry has been clear, without acknowledgement of the pain caused and a commitment to change, any reunion is just for show. The monarchy's refusal to engage with his claims, clinging to tradition and silence, creates an impasse. True reconciliation demands honest conversation and institutional introspection, not pressure on the Sussexes to forgive and forget. The media's push for a fairy tale ending misses the point. The onus is on the institution to adapt and address its failings. Until then, reconciliation remains a myth used to silence those who speak out. Real healing isn't about returning to the fold. It's about meeting in truth. Without that, the divide will only deepen. The idea that Harry owes his family an apology is a distraction from the real issue, his right to tell his own story. Speaking out in despair wasn't betrayal, it was reclaiming his voice after years of being misrepresented. Demanding his silence only reinforces the power dynamic he escaped, where image trumps individual well-being. The backlash to his honesty reveals more about the institution's discomfort with truth than any supposed damage he's done. Harry's candour has sparked global conversations about grief, mental health and toxic systems. He's modelling a new kind of masculinity, one that values vulnerability and authenticity. If apologies are due, they belong to those who failed to support him, not the other way around. Harry and Meghan's story is one of transformation, not tragedy. They've built a meaningful, independent life measured not by royal protocol, but by impact and authenticity. Through Archewell and their advocacy, they're shaping global conversations and redefining public service. Their work, like the Invictus Games, stands as a legacy built on their own terms. Prioritising family well-being, they've created a safe, private space for their children, fulfilling the very reason they left. Their journey is a message of empowerment. You can walk away from tradition and still succeed. The critics' noise can't drown out the reality of their happiness and influence. They're writing a new story, one of freedom, love and a modern legacy. And finally, Jack says he feels sorry for King Charles. Honestly, we all did, until we realised he still holds the power and refuses to use it to heal this rift. Charles is the monarch. If he wanted to reunite his family, he could. But silence has been his strategy. He didn't protect Meghan when she was pregnant and suicidal. He didn't defend Harry from racist attacks. So miss us with this poor Charles narrative. Let's feel sorry for the man who was born into power and still chose distance over decency. So, let's be clear. This entire segment was a polished PR piece, carefully wrapped in faux concern and royal loyalty. But we see through it. Prince Harry is not lost, he's found. And Meghan, she's thriving with purpose, not permission, to my beautiful community. Never forget, there's power in truth. And the Sussexes are living proof that no smear campaign, no crown, and no outdated institution can silence the voice of justice. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe to Meghan and Harry Tales. Your support keeps us pushing back against the spin. And remember, when they go low, we go loud. Until next time, my darlings.